Welcome back to the Milestone Moment, where we take top producing agents, learn their story, and find out what brought them to real estate. Today we have Carrie Freeman with John L. Scott.
Hi.
Carrie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell us a bit about your background or how you got into real estate.
Oh, well, I think like a lot of people who get into real estate, it kind of found me and I fell into it. I didn't set out to do real estate. It wasn't like I grew up as a kid saying, I want to be a real estate agent. But
what did you grow up wanting to say? Of a firefighter?
No, I actually wanted to be like a singer. Isn't that hilarious?
My gosh. Okay.
Of course, this is when I was a singer and an actress. I was like, oh, sure, I'll do that.
This is amazing.
That long went away. But basically, how real estate came about is I've actually always loved homes and interior design. When I was a little kid, my parents used to drag me around to look at houses all the time. It always felt like they were looking at houses, but we never actually moved.
Okay,
Yeah, my dad really loved it. And we would drive around to parts of Seward Park and old Seattle and Mercer Island where he grew up and look at old houses and stuff. And so I think I always kind of, that kind of started the love of it. Yeah. And then I just had a natural knack for interior design. So years and years ago, I opened an interior design business. And I was staging for a bunch of people. And it was actually a pretty well-known Bellevue realtor that I was staging for. And I remember one day, I was just having kind of a bad day. It was just one of those hectic days because staging can be very, very stressful.
Yeah. It's like moving every day, which is like the most stressful thing.
Yeah, just, if somebody doesn't like something. Yeah, so, and I remember looking at what he was doing thinking, I can do that. Yeah. And that looks a lot more low stress and fun. No, low stress, I wouldn't say it is. But at the time, it felt like, I'm ready for a change. Yep. Or maybe I can add this into something, So I went and got my real estate license and that's kind of where it started. So I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or be good at it, but I definitely, it was the thing I was meant to do.
And how many years has it been now?
23.
23 years. Okay.
23.
That's amazing.
My oldest daughter was, she was really young when I started, and that's another thing when you have little kids, you're not sure if that's going to work, but the flexibility was great and it worked out really well.
I love it. Now you've been doing it so long, you've built up a fantastic reputation. So tell us a little bit about what you've done to kind of build your brand or inside of John L. Scott, because I know you're very aligned with your brokerage as well. So tell us about that.
Well, I always say I definitely am not just selling homes. I think my superpower is being able to offer clarity to people. I know a lot of people say that, I'm here to help people. And you are. Yeah. You are. That is really what the business is. But I feel like there's a big psychology to this business. And I feel like I've cracked that code, as far as... you're helping people in the biggest transitions of their life. Yeah. This isn't about opening doors or having access to real estate. Zillow has access to homes and real estate. Yeah. It's how do you show up for people in the biggest moments of their lives? If they're grieving a parent, if they've had a new baby, if they're moving out of town, a job transfer, a major life issue, transformation. That's, I feel like I'm just really, really good at, in those difficult moments, creating that clarity that people need.
I love that. And that's one of my questions is what your secret sauce is. I assume it's making a complex situation a lot more clear.
I love complex situations. So I actually thrive on them. Weird houses, weird situations, the ones that you just scratch your head and you go, how am I going to do this?
Carrie will figure this out.
I just had one this week that it's one of those where everybody's like, I don't think we're going to close and we've got a well issue. And, and I didn't know much about this particular issue that was happening, but I love digging into it, figuring it out, and not taking that stress to my client until I have the solution. I love this. Which in my younger years and when you're first starting out, that can be really overwhelming and daunting and you don't necessarily know what to do. Yeah. And I think, the experience of 23 years and many, many transactions, I've learned how to do that very successfully, but I do love the complicated ones.
That is amazing. And I mean, we probably thrive on that as well, because that's where your expertise shows and that's where you're able to kind of really, obviously help solve a problem for a client, which is huge.
Yeah, because, the client, they have two choices. They can remember the problem, or they can remember how you made them feel through that problem. Yeah. And I've had many people come back to me and say, you know what, you just really made the situation so much easier than it could have been, and we really appreciate that.
I love that. Yeah. Now, we've got like 16,000 viewers, I think, on this show. Like I mentioned to you, a lot of them, with all your experience, this made me think of this question. A lot of them are newer agents. What advice would you give in this current environment, or just in general, for a newer agent out there just trying to figure it out?
There's so much noise out there with social media, AI, everything. It can be daunting, even for an experienced agent. You can lose yourself in the noise. But I would say to stop trying to sell homes and really try to create relationships. I still believe this is a relationship-driven business. Yeah. Even if, people are using AI and they think we're going to be obsolete, which I don't think we're going to be. I really don't think we're going to be. People still need people, and you need that expertise, So my advice would be to just slow down a little bit. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Yep. And, can I be Instagram famous, and should I be funny on TikTok? Really focus on the people and the situation and honing your craft, because this is a craft, and it is something you need to really have experience in, and now more than ever that's showing up. You can't just stick a yard sign out there and expect the house to sell.
100%. And I agree with you too, in that obviously the fundamentals, relationships, getting in front of people, all the stuff that we know is tried and true is what works out there. And it seems like one of the last interview I was on too, there's such a pushback right now on AI with like, oh my gosh, that's AI flyer. And a lot of people are so averse to it at the moment. Yeah. So I think you're absolutely right.
Ironically, a lot of younger people are. So I have a 27-year-old, and she is constantly like, don't use AI. It's ruining our environment. It's, this, all these things. And I think there's a lot of people that are actually more conscious about it, that they're like, it's not the best thing. Yes, it's going to be helpful, and it can help a lot of things, and it is very useful. But my advice to a young agent, do not rely on AI. Right. It's not always right either. You have to really
I just want to agree with you all the time, right? I'm the smartest person
agreeable.
According to my AI friend, I'm like amazing.
I'm the best thing that ever happened. Yeah, exactly.
So the premise of our show, the milestone moment, it's when it all like either clicked for you in real estate, or maybe you have a couple of moments when you knew real estate was for you. I know you mentioned the open house with your Bellevue agent. Was that your moment, or was there another moment?
No, that wasn't my moment. That was the moment I decided I wanted to switch gears and do something a little different. I actually, for quite a while in real estate, I think I didn't find my way completely. I was good, and I had a decent career. Yeah. I went through the crash of 2008, all of that stuff. I've been around for a long time. And during that time, I ended up working for a home builder, a new construction home builder. And I guess what you would say is took kind of the safe route. Yeah. I had 2 kids, small kids.
Step back, some stability.
Needed, so you're like, hey, I might need some medical. Right. I might need some
consistency.
A 401k, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So some consistency. Yeah. So I did that for a while, and kind of just got comfortable doing that. I still was building my real estate career, but this is a career you can't do part-time. Yeah. You have to go all in, or don't do it at all. Right. And the builder ended up selling to a national, and I could have stayed and had probably a decent career and done okay, but I decided I wanted my girls to see what it looked like to have courage to follow your dreams and do something different and take that leap of faith. So I didn't quite know if I was felt like I could do it, so I went to my 2 best friends and sat down with them and kind of talked to them, and they were like, of course you can do this. You have everything you need to do this. You're good. You know what you're talking about. You're good with people. So I jumped, and I quit that job and just decided, it was about 2016, 15, 16, I decided I was going to 100% no safety net, do real
Burn the
estate.
ships, going for it. I love
Go for
this.
it.
Yeah.
And that really was my turning point, because I had no safety net. I had no plan B. Yeah. And I really wanted that. I wanted it to work, and it did, because again, I think I realized this isn't about selling real estate. I mean, yes, it is.
Yeah.
We're selling real estate, but you really are helping people.
Yeah.
You're helping them solve a problem, whatever that is.
So you had a bigger purpose, and you just went all in and went for it.
When you figure that out, the real estate part becomes pretty easy.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
And I know recently, I think Jeff, your husband, has gotten involved in your business, and obviously you have your girls. So tell us about how all this works. I mean, it's got to be a bit.
That's a shift that has come recently. I've started to think about, what I want my business to legacy-wise to be, and Jeff actually has more experience than I do. He's been doing it even longer than me. He was a managing broker. He is a managing broker, but he ran several offices. That's actually how I met him years ago. And he worked a lot of new construction and, did a whole separate side of it as well. And recently we decided, you know what, we're just going to grow this. It's going to be a family business.
So cool.
My daughter is getting her real estate license. My oldest daughter.
That's 27, is that right? Okay. Yep.
Yeah, my 15-year-old, ironically, she, I swear, is just a mini me. I could see her getting her license, but she is amazing at design.
Okay.
So she has told me, Mom, I want to be your stager one day. Okay. She's taking interior design in high school right now.
My gosh.
So I'm like, you know what? Hey, we may have the whole gang working for us.
You guys will be unstoppable. I love this.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So we're halfway through 2026. Obviously, it's been an interesting year. I know, almost, into 2027 at this point. Anything that you've added to your business, or anything that you carried over from last year that is working, that you're kind of doubling down on, or tell us about how your business
Yeah,
is
I'm
going.
really doubling down on a lot of our systems and processes. I've hired 3 virtual assistants.
Nice.
So they're helping me with different aspects of my business. I've doubled down on, website design and things where this is a hard year. This is a hard year for a lot of people, me included, as far as, the market's shifting, as we know, and things are taking longer to sell. It's just been a very hard year. And this is when most agents pull back, and they really pull the purse strings back. And I'm deciding to just go full board and, with everything. So we'll see if that pays off.
Well, that's exciting. I love hearing that. I think my team has a similar journey for sure. And I guess, is there any advice that you have for clients that you're thinking they should maybe be listing now, or buyers that should be getting out there? What's something you could pass on to any clients that might be watching?
I think it's a great time for buyers right now. Not necessarily that it's not for sellers, but I think not to panic. I think some people are panicking right now, and they need to just take a step back and take a breath. I've actually told several people, this may not be the time for you to sell right now. Sure. This may not be the time for you to buy right now. That's not a very popular opinion with a lot of people, because everybody wants business all the time, but it doesn't do you any good to be frustrated, or for your client to be frustrated. So advice I have right now is kind of just to take a step back and really evaluate the why of what you're doing it, because I think national news can be, a little problematic, and not tell the whole story of your hyper local area. So, what's happening somewhere else in the United States may not be exactly what's happening right there in your neighborhood. So I just try to, I have a buyer consultation and a seller consultation with all my clients, and I just try to figure out the why of what they're doing, and if this really makes sense for them at this time.
I love that. Yeah, I think you advocating for clients in that way is going to just be the genuine person that you are, and continue to kind of make your business successful.
Exactly. Obviously, if somebody's getting relocated or something, they have to do that. But there's a lot of situations where it just might not be the right time, and you have to be willing to lose that sale at that time, because it's not just a sale. It's a person, it's their life, it's their, their money, and, so you have to advocate for them.
Love that. Well, you're involved in so many things, obviously, full-time family, full-time real estate, full-time this. How do you make it all work? I mean, is it controlled chaos? Is it just a crazy diligent calendar, or what is it that you do?
I am very scheduled. I'm very type A. I'm a Virgo, so I'm very, very type A. But I mean, at times it can be controlled chaos. But having my husband there to help, he's amazing. He picks up a lot of the slack, as also with like our 15-year-old, and taking her, picking her up, taking her, going on showings, listing appointments. We kind of tag team things when we can. And I'm just, I
a family calendar, and it's just delegate. I love this.
Yeah. A lot of delegating, which was not always my easiest thing to do. That was hard for me for many years, but I'm getting to learn the joys of delegating.
Right.
This is great.
Yeah. Good.
So,
Well, you've been a fantastic guest. I can't thank you enough for being on our show. I think our viewers got a lot out of this.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Appreciate it.